Hello everyone, this is theStC here, back with some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void custom map action. The last game was super fun. I had a lot of fun casting it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So decided, you know what? I'm going to cast a second game that both these guys sent in to me from Pokebunny and Complexity QXC. So thank you to them for deciding to play another game and a slightly different matchup as well. So that is much appreciated. Up in the top left side, always having fun with the game, it's Complexity QXC. I say that because I've met him several times. He has done lots of fun stuff and played lots of fun show matches and all that. Always appreciated. And also making a reappearance on my channel, it's going to be Pokebunny down in the bottom right side. And you can kind of see the players figuring out this game in chat just a little bit, which is, I think, kind of the way to go about it, as they really don't know too much about it. And again, it is super important to note that this is only a custom map that is made by fans that represents as accurately as possible as it can from the announcements at BlizzCon. So this is not an accurate representation of what Legacy of the Void at launch will be. However, I think it does show kind of the mindset of Blizzard going into the expansion and some of the new units and stuff that they're trying out. And really, it's just kind of the evolution. So think of this like when StarCraft 2 was announced and I cast the very first game that was released or the very first game that was out. It's kind of the same thing. Lots of things are going to change, but still, I think it's extremely fun to watch, and had a lot of fun reading all your comments in the last video, so definitely keep that up, keep the discussion going. I'm always curious, when I'm casting it, if I'm perceiving it the same way as you guys are. The answer is usually no. And in this game, I don't know if Pokebunny's going to be using the new units. To be completely honest, I don't want to say Terran got the shaft. What I do want to say is that Terran, while they did get new units, they are kind of complicated ones to use. They're not ones that you can just throw into a ball and have a lot of fun with, like the Ravager, for example, in the last game. The QXC could just make 20 of those and kill just about anything. I'm sure it's completely imbalanced. I'm sure it'll be focused on and worked on, and maybe even the numbers that were in that custom map were not exactly accurate. But Terran doesn't really have that. They're going to be having the Herc and the other mobile guy. I forget his name already. But basically, you can't really mask those. They're more individually used units. And moving forward, I don't expect him to get too many of the new units here. Maybe try out a couple of them, but probably just kind of sticking with the older school play style. There we go. Not the old school, or the old play school style. That doesn't quite make sense. We do have the Mothership Core going to be on out. Does have Time Warp on here. I honestly don't remember if that's if all these abilities are actually in Legacy of the Void, but hey, they're in this version of the game, so we are just going to go with it. And we also are going to be having the Stargate on the way. Looks like Complexity QXC wants to rush straight towards some of those new units. Even the Oracle has a new ability, so even if he's not getting a new unit, he is going to have access to basically, it's this kind of awesome trap that the Oracle lays that will basically freeze any units that go near it. It's kind of cool. I think it's called like Stasis Trap or something like that, which for those of you who remember back in Brood War days, there was the Stasis Field from the Arbiter. Looks like the SV is actually going to go ahead and slip on in here. Will he spot? No! The stock response right there has no idea about that Stargate. Did make it surprisingly deep into enemy territory, as QXC does get scouted out there, but does not reveal the Oracle. The Oracle is something that is always good versus Terran in the early game if it remains unscouted. There's going to be the Cyclone. That's the unit that I forgot the name of really quickly. It's a unit that can target on and shoot while moving, as I was able to play with this a little bit at BlizzCon. And again, what Blizzard has mentioned and noted is that they want there to be making sure I'm saying my English correctly. They want there to be lots more micro in StarCraft as opposed to a lot of death balls. So again, they've made it so you have to expand more. They've made it so that there's new units with lots of micro involved, where you either have to micro the unit or you have to micro a lot versus the unit. They're hoping to stay away from just these big death ball armies that we're seeing a lot of. Although Protoss, I still feel like there are units in there that can kind of attribute to a big death ball, but we shall see as the game gets closer to alpha or even beta. As we get the Oracle, we're going to go ahead and move on out. We have a third base already here for Pokebunny. He's going to be going for mass macro. He will definitely pay the price, but at the same time, is this going to be done before the Oracle gets here? And does QXC decide to delay it? Looks like he could delay it if he wants to. And nope, it is going to complete. May not be paying attention at that exact second. And StarCraft is a game of seconds here. There's going to be the Oracle inside the main base, and he's got to start roasting down these SCVs. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get 8 or 9 kills here quite easily. QXC saying some things never change, as he's just saying, you know what, Protoss harasses with Oracle today. Why not harass with Oracle tomorrow? As the Oracle is, of course, a very strong unit, and he does have 8 kills right now. We'll see if he can beat my record that I predicted, and he does, up to 10 right now. Do keep in mind, though, that Pokebunny does have a 3rd base already, upgrading that to the orbital command, so he should be able to recover here quite easily. Yes, he's behind in workers, 12 workers killed off overall so far this game if you include that scout, but he is definitely able to recover here moving forward, able to drop those extra mules. The Oracle here is very low on energy. There's going to be that stasis ward, and we may very well see this in the future. He's saying Cyclone doesn't seem the same and does seem a little bit slow here. Not sure that he was able to do a whole lot of damage. He's trying to chase down the Stalker, and Pokebunny is saying that in this version of the map, it is a little bit different. So definitely keep that in mind, as he's probably not going to be making more of those, because that was not very effective whatsoever. And Pokebunny saying seems slower and shorter range. And you know what? I can actually agree with that. I did use the Cyclone at BlizzCon, and it does seem a little bit slower. He did go ahead and use that lock-on to try and shoot him down. But if you watch the videos talking about the Cyclone, then it is actually a unit that should be countering Stalkers, which Terran does have a lot of trouble with in the early game. So I think that's kind of an obvious kind of new tech that Blizzard is giving the Terran to help deal with that. Lock-on range without upgrade is only 6, it seems, according to Pokebunny in this version of the map. The 3rd base over here has been started. QXC saying, you know what, this is actually better saturation to be long-distance mining, which might actually be true. I think that with the mineral saturation, they have changed it just a little bit, and so actually doing this long-distance mining is probably helping him better than just transferring those units right when the expansion is done. But again, Pokebunny does have his expansion up a little bit sooner. The Oracle finally does fall. Workers killed up to 15, so able to snipe 1 or 2. We do have a missile turret going to be on the way. That mule is very confused. Not sure where he's going. There he goes. He does go ahead and get back to work. He has such a short life to live. He needs to make it as efficient as possible. There's going to be the observer there. Chances of spotting that actually pretty good. When it's kind of hovering over this little thing, it makes it much more obvious. But right now there's a second Oracle, or excuse me, observer following this army. We do have a second Oracle being produced right now, though, so not totally inaccurate. We do have +1/+1 going to be on the way here for QXC. The army goes ahead and marches its way all the way across the map, and here's going to be the disruptor when you activate. Oh, that whole army's going to die! It's going to die! Oh, no! QXC able to eat that army up. Pokebunny's saying, oh, that did not go as expected. Now, this is a unit that I do want to talk about, the Disruptor. It has no attack. It has relatively low health, although I guess 100 is pretty good. And Pokebunny's saying you don't even notice till all your units are gone, cuz no alert. But Purification Nova, this is something that I used at BlizzCon. I believe that this is a different model than the one that is actually at BlizzCon. I don't think they have the official model for the Disruptor, but basically you activate it, you chase armies down, and then when it activates right there, after a short duration, it kills off everything in its path. So you can see you do need to micro against it, but if you're able to micro against it and kill them off, then they do absolutely nothing. So it's one of those units that just requires crazy micro and attention to detail and focusing on what's going on. It does look like a couple units here are going to go down. 3 Disruptors on the field, but guess what? They've been activated. Time to run. Loads up at the medevac and gets out there. Could easily unload and start sniping them right now. A beautiful play here. Is it actually enough, though, to kill them off? It does not count as an armored unit, though. So Marauder's unable to really be that effective here. A couple Phoenix on the field, going to be able to push this out and really kind of prevent those drops from happening. But you can see the idea from Pokebunny. If he did not lose that army, he would actually be winning the game right now, because he would have been able to push in there. He would have been able to kill those Disruptors, and I think, honestly, maybe actually end the game here. So I think that QXC getting very lucky here that his opponent did not see it. But I can only imagine Bronze League versus the Disruptor. That's going to be a lot of dead Terran and Marines. There's going to be the Herc right there, and you can see the grapple with a cooldown of 70. Basically grapples and runs in there, and he does count as a light unit, so does not take additional damage from Stalkers, does not take additional damage from Immortals, and can really just start to absorb that damage that those units are normally dealing to your more important Marauders. And here we go right now. I think the Herc got loaded in there. Yes, he did. Herc with 2 Marauders and 2 Marines. Going to go ahead and try and drop, and this is exactly what you want to be doing, it seems, as Terran is just really doing multiple drops every which way. Could kill off these pylons and unpower a lot of gateways here. Down goes one pylon. That's not going to unpower anything yet. There is going to be another pylon that goes down, though, so expect a lot less of that. And there's going to be the stasis trap, which is going to freeze this army in position. Unfortunately, the Zealots aren't going to be engaging right now, so great play here by both players, kind of utilizing the new functions and new units right here. It looks like the Disruptor unable to actually kill that off. Not quite sure what happened there. The Zealots, are they unable to actually attack that? Ah, it seems to make them immune during that, so side-storming them or something like that doesn't quite work out. It looks like a Disruptor is going to be continuing. The Herc up here actually going to be able to kill off this pylon. He's doing beast mode damage. 32 damage is what they do. not bad at all, as this Herc is apparently the pylon killer, as the two Mars over here are going to drop, continuing to kill off these pylons here just to try and supply block and unpower those buildings as quickly as possible. This army's going to go ahead and get out of there. Phoenix here can chase down this medevac, though. May need to just unload these Mars to do as much damage as possible. So Pokebunny all of a sudden back in this game doing substantial amounts of damage. You can see, though, just how important those stasis traps are. Can prevent those drops from doing crazy amounts of damage right away. This Herc is still alive. 7 kills. Destroys a Zealot, bringing him up to 8. 0 to hero, just like that. Apparently, they just punch things in the face. More Zealots on the way. I don't think this Herc can actually get away at this point. Accidentally attacks the pylon. I think he meant to attack the... oh, man, it seems like he's very deliberately doing that. But does have the broader death animation, as of course they are not fully implemented in the game. But I think that that does kind of showcase just how good the Herc can actually be. And that was a great play right there. Disruptor right there, up to 18 kills. I think that's the one that killed off the original army. So many disruptors, though. I'm wondering if having this many is actually that great. I mean, if you have just 2 or 3, I feel like you can cycle through the different amounts of damage that they can deal without having too many or an overcommittal to that. We do have Revelation now, which combines both the 2 abilities it had. It basically is going to let your opponent know where your units are and also reveal those close units. It does look like this army right now has been fully revealed. That's not actually the major issue right now. What is the issue is dealing with these Zealots. Oh, I think that was some friendly fire damage. Hello. As QXC going to learn a lesson mighty quick that all these new units doing lots of friendly splash damage. At the same time, drops over here, not doing the most damage, but still trying to make something happen. May just want to drop a cannon over here to prevent this from happening. Looks like a pylon over here to put down a cannon. May not actually complete this expansion. May go down. A big army coming on up, and there's going to be the disruptors moving on in. But again, the more disruptors, not necessarily the more damage, unless they're going to be coming in from the different angles. QXC, I think, just learning about that friendly fire, which is actually going to even up this game. This game now, all of a sudden, super, super close, as both players are learning the new units, the new abilities, and what has friendly fire, what does not, what is good, what is not. I think that Herc was super beast mode, but instead of Hercs, we're going to be going for the more standard Ghost right now. I lost one, War Prism plus Disruptor versus a guy, or excuse me, WP plus Disruptor versus a guide. Yes, I think there was friendly fire, so QXC gotta have to watch out for that, as the drops are actually going to continue right here. So Pokebunny, he's figured it out, as Protoss with those disruptors not very mobile. It does look like the Phoenix, of course, are going to be very mobile. Is it enough to actually prevent these drops from happening, though? Looks like, well, this drop's going to get cleaned up. Although the pylon still goes down, prevents that warp in, and unpowers those buildings. Pokebunny is also typing while doing this attack, which I think takes extra APM. And actually taking a look at the APM, still relatively high, considering there's lots of new units to look at and kind of play around with, as the army is going to go ahead and move on up to, it looks like possibly his bottom expansion. I don't even know, is he aware of this expansion? I don't think he does, because if he did, he would just run right in there. He's going to send one Marine to go ahead and scout it out, getting the other army in position here to spot that. He does see it, will most likely re-engage down there and not overextend up here versus these disruptors and Archons. I think that this base is basically dead unless QXC runs down here immediately. He is going to lose that, and down it goes. But guess what? Disruptors from a good angle could clean up this army, and you can see that Pokebunny needs to run out of there and not hang around like maybe he would versus a standard Protoss unit composition. Just lots of splash damage here from Protoss. So, I mean, think of Colossus, Disruptor, Archon, High Templar. There they go. That's going to be a lot of dead units, but all the Zealots as well. The Zealots need to stay out of there. They're on the wrong side of town. As QXC saying, Jesus, need to be more careful. It is definitely like playing with dynamite. You have got to be careful. Now, one thing that Pokebunny said in the last game is that he needed more bases, and that's exactly what we're seeing so far in this game, is his ability to expand, but also see how quickly these bases get mined out. We're only at 18 minutes, and there's basically 2 to 3 mined out bases for either player. Not very good. If you want to sit back and play the macro game, you definitely have to keep expanding. This base up here is going to be fully saturated as well, so looking pretty good here for Pokebunny moving forward. Resources lost is about the same. Pokebunny has lost more, but he has also mined way more, even transferring, it looks like, more units down there. And there's going to be yet another stasis trap. The one Marine here trying to protect the army. Does it say invulnerable? No, it just says stasis. I'm pretty sure they are invulnerable, though, as they kind of sit there. Pokebunny saying, oh, that's cool. And it does look like the attack up here is going to get taken out. And I agree with Pokebunny. I actually think that that is awesome. And no, the attack is not going to get taken out. That base is getting taken out, though, mighty fast, as a lot of the workers going to go down. And actually, even up the worker kills shield score, I think, yeah, 20 to 15 here, starting it even out. Do want to be careful with this army, though. That's a lot of Phoenix. Psystorm coming up. Does manage to dodge it, except for that one poor guy. I think that was a Marauder. I don't think we've seen any hurts being made right now, but a big drop in here. Once again, going for the infrastructure. Zealots have arrived, but this isn't what you need. What you need is High Templar. And the High Templar, though, with just no energy, does take out the Phoenix here. Lots of feedback on those medevacs, so is going to clean those up. It's just this army is still very potent. However, they do only have +1 attack, and they are going up against 3-3. I think that's going to really hurt him here moving forward. He does have 2-2 nearly completed, but a big storm right there going to eat up that army. More Zealots going to be warping in. Disruptor, hello, splitting him up, trying to do as much damage as he can, but all the Disruptors got to go down. Apparently, the Mothership animation happening right there. Of course, the units are not fully implemented, but another Psystorm. I don't even know where that storm came from. Down from the south, a perfect storm happening. Pokebunny here losing lots of units, but this is actually not looking good for QXC. Yeah, he's cleaning it up with some Zealots. Yes, he has some Phoenix, but his Disruptors have really done more damage to himself than they have to his opponent. Does finish that +1 shield, though, and I feel like shield's actually useful for the Disruptor because they don't really have an attack, so you might as well upgrade what you can. But I think QXC needs to stay away from the Disruptors, maybe get 1 or 2. But other than that, I don't really know what he can get. I will say that the Tempest moves much more quickly now, but cannot attack air. It also can throw up a damage over time spell, which will basically kill any unit slowly, so it forces them to engage with those. But they do move much quicker, just can't attack air, which is kind of cool. Carriers, you're able to actually tell your interceptors where to go, and they will hang out in an area. And even if your carrier dies, those interceptors will kind of linger in that area for, I believe, a limited amount of time. Wasn't able to mess with them too much, but the carrier definitely seeming effective. And also, you can launch all your interceptors at once. Here we go. Disruptor. No, it gets EMP'd. Does that actually prevent it from activating, though? I don't think it costs any energy. And there we go. Needs to get those Zealots out of there. There we go. That's what you're looking for here as Protoss actually evening up the score. Is using 1 or 2 Disruptors, keeping your Zealots away, kind of zoned out from attacking the incorrect location. And QXC all of a sudden is still actually in this game. The new units definitely turning the tide of this game for him. We do have another command center going to be on the way for Pokebunny. Does he actually manage to take this expansion or possibly the one on the top right side? It remains to be seen. I'm kind of curious on the income, though. We've got to be getting mined out. I think with Legacy of the Void, we're going to see a lot more mined out games. Just because it may be too difficult to expand, but also you can't hold your bases for long enough, as this army right now still looking pretty scary for Pokebunny. Still is only, though, at 2-2. Working on +3 attack. Can't really afford the +3 armor right now. He's running low on gas. I think he needs to continue just making lots of Marines. I mean, he's got plenty of barracks, and I think just Marines might be his only option right now. We do have a Zealot down here. Got to be working on units. Actually managing to kill off 7 of those SCVs. Very well played there, as QXC doing absolutely everything he can to stay in this game, sending out individual units here and there. And Oracle might be a great choice. This army is actually completely vulnerable. Pokebunny may fall apart here despite having a substantial lead a little bit ago. If he ends up losing too much of his macro, he's going to be in trouble. I don't really know where these SCVs can go. They're basically going to have to run. There is no protection for them right now, as Pokebunny got to go ahead and move out. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the medevacs to be able to do the drops because the Phoenix have been absolutely devastating. This is going to be a lot of workers killed off at both locations. He needs to activate it right now. He has a perfect opportunity. You can see Pokebunny realizing it, trying to get down that missile turret. Did not have a missile turret down here, which he would have loved. Workers killed overall, as we'll keep an eye on that Oracle. And here comes the Disruptor. He's going to try and get out of there, but kills off more Zealots than Marines and Marauders, though. Pokebunny showing that he still has the micro to deal with these once he learns exactly how they work. This Oracle not doing anything, though, and perfect opportunity missed right there, as it does look like Pokebunny, he is going in for the Darth Vader chokehold right now, as he's killing off the infrastructure, even though QXC able to kill off lots of workers. 28 and all. Whoa! Nice splits. All things considered, the Storms, though, cleaning up house, as Pokebunny just having difficulty finishing this game off. And with all those units plus the amount of splash damage that Protoss has, it is no surprise. And another drop inside the main base. I don't even know if going for the infrastructure at this point is worth it. QXC is so low on money, but I guess if you can prevent any units from being produced, that is an ideal situation, and that is exactly what's happening. One gateway goes down, a second one focusing down additional ones as well. I think it might be 3 or 4 when it's all said and done. That +3 attack definitely paying off right now, as he is able to kill it off. Needs to try and get away. Disruptor coming on in. I don't think it hits air units. I think that's only ground. And the Phoenix right here need to unload as quickly as possible. He actually does manage to a great angle to unload. The Phoenix not engaging here, so he is able to unload that entire army. Sure, the medevacs are going to go down, but a little bit of additional damage will be dealt right now. and killing off, it looks like, a couple more zealots. At the same time, there's going to be attack down here, so I think this is exactly what Blizzard wanted, which is lots of multi-prong attacks. If you group up your army too much, the Disruptors are going to end that, and but however, as Protoss, if you clump up your army, the Disruptors never going to be able to catch up. The Phoenix finally going down. Disruptors coming in to try and end this. There's going to be the Time Warp. Disruptors trying to finish it off. They will kill off some, but is it enough? There's only one Marine for the anti-air. Unfortunately, he gets singled out. Is still alive, though, at least for now. More Disruptors right now as Pokebunny unable to focus every which way, and the Marine right there trying to kill everything off. Not going to happen. Pokebunny somehow getting this base up and running. I mean, look how many mules he actually has down here. It is a ridiculous amount. Take a look at that income. Is 2,700 mules. I mean, that whole base is going to be mined out by the time those mules actually end. Completely ridiculous. SCV is going to be transferring down there as well. So Pokebunny, again, resources lost is more, but he is able to expand. He is able to secure those expansions and mine them out very, very, very quickly with the mule. I'm wondering if they're going to change the mule at all, just because, I mean, look how quickly he mined this base out with basically just mules. SCV is going to be able to clean it up. There's going to be the SCV train. Probably wants to get some missile turrets or something down there, but Pokebunny really just expanding everywhere. He doesn't even care. I mean, does he really expect to hold this base? I don't think so, but it sure as hell just delayed the base for QXC. And we do have a Dark Shrine on the way. Warp Prism did get changed as well. It can pick up units from a further away distance, and we also are going to have the the gravitic drive, for the Warp Prism, which will make it move much quicker. And we could actually be seeing some of QXC's awesome micro here with those units. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Maybe trying to micro those Disruptors. I wonder if you can activate it, pick it up, and drop it right before it detonates. I honestly have no idea. I would leave it up to QXC, though, to try something like that. Planetary Fortress is on the way. It doesn't look like it will complete, and even if it does, it's probably just going to die. SCVs, you are on the wrong side of town. It does look like the base over here going to get delayed as well, as the SCV could easily get picked up. It's kind of hard to click on that SCV as it's building, but you can see right there he manages to do just that, as it has been delayed right now. Pokebunny needs to make sure to continue this fresh income. Base over here is scouted, but not able to completely take that out. It does look like workers killed overall, though, 26 to 32. And here goes Pokebunny. He's actually able to dodge the storm so far. Disruptors need to get out of there. Needs to split up as best he can, but it's so much damage as that army gets melted away. And all of a sudden, we have an even game right now, and there is going to be the Disruptor drops, and that looks seriously very painful. Pokebunny not happy with this, needing to split up that army much, much sooner, and he does have, Marines with combat shields, but they aren't going to be able to survive that. And here comes the Warp Prism with the Disruptors inside. He's going to try and drop them. Can he do it in time? There's one. There's two. Do they get dropped? Oh, Pokebunny. Oh, Pokebunny. Okay, he does actually manage to get away. And notice, though, that the Warp Prism is able to pick up from a much further distance, and this army needs more reinforcements. I do think, though, that Pokebunny needs to do multi-prong attacks. I think it's very important not to tunnel vision right now, because how can QXC defend versus drops? He really cannot. Yeah, he does have a couple Phoenix on the way, but if right now Pokebunny does not tunnel vision, he splits up his army, and he starts attacking lots of locations, I think he's got to pull QXC too thin, and will definitely end up losing some locations. I mean, don't attack down here because of all the High Templar, but definitely split up this army, because the Disruptors are just going to continue disrupting. There's going to be the Stasis Trap, as it does look like this army may get taken out. Could EMP right here, and he does, as Disruptors being dropped. Can they be activated in time? Remember, they go immune when they do that, so it makes it nearly impossible to kill them off. I think right now they may just have a little too much HP, as this army trying to get out of here. Zealots looking quite strong. QXC finding a way to utilize these units. And remember that things like the Herc and the Cyclone might be good counters to this Disruptor to get right on top of them and zone them out and being able to attack your army. It does look at this base over here, though, going to be going down, as I think right now Pokebunny losing all the ground he had may actually be way behind at this point, as it does look like Zealot's going to go ahead and lock this down. I think Pokebunny may lose it, but at the same time needed to use more new units, and we do have a lot of mules over here, though. I mean, take a look at this, 1,300. That's going to go much higher, maybe get up to like 2,300 again, especially if those SCVs going to be transferring down. That is full saturation if I have ever seen it. Zealots right here do force the liftoff. Really, all that was left over here was Vespene Gas, and Pokebunny is not hurting for Vespene Gas right now. And it does look at the Warp Prism right here. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Gonna split him up. That's an entirely dead mineral line. Whoa! My God, Pokebunny. That is a lot of damage, you guys. That is almost a disgusting amount of damage. Workers killed 67. All of a sudden, Pokebunny has no money, and you can just drop these and do it over and over and over again. I think Pokebunny's just going to have to try and win with what he's got. Even DT's getting used right now by QXC. QXC definitely figuring out the new units, definitely playing Legacy of the Void as opposed to Heart of the Swarm. Nexus is going to go down, as both these players probably hurting for income. I mean, Pokebunny has literally 0 income right now, and QXC has a little bit. It may be enough to actually end this game. Workers killed 71 to 36. I don't think Pokebunny can actually win with this. Does kill off a couple Phoenix, but needs to watch out for all these side storms. DT is right here. EMP to spot it, though. Great play. I think there's a lot of High Templar. At least there was down here. Maybe they have relocated themselves. Yeah, they're kind of on the high ground right now. Disruptor coming in, and remember, there's really nowhere to go. I mean, yeah, he kills it off, but that just allows the Psystorm to finish the job. It does look like his base will finally go down. That's going to cut into the majority of QXC's income. He does have some income up here, but that is only a couple of pros. So now that does plummet down to 300, and can Pokebunny actually win with what he's got? How many Disruptors do we have left? That's the question. Oh, we have 0 Disruptors, but 11 High Templar. I can click on all these. It's going to teleport you all around. There is 11 High Templar. How many Ghosts, though? We have got to have the Rambo Ghost. Need to get every single unit that we can here for Pokebunny. He somehow has a little bit of income, dropping mules down there. Needs to land this orbital, though, and start dropping more mules. I don't even know if he can get that income up to where it needs to be. We actually have a Colossus on the way. I feel like QXC has used basically every single unit that is provided to him. But right now, I don't know if that's going to be enough for Pokebunny, especially. I mean, he can't really drop. I don't think. Well, he does have a couple orbitals as they're so low on energy. And this one right here is landed, but guess what? It has the DT hacking it down, so it needs to drop those mules. There it goes, and then relift it off. But it's already in the red. That +3 attack is ridiculous amount of damage. There comes the Storm. But remember, there is 11 High Templar. There's a Disruptor right now. Actually, I guess Disruptors just don't show up on the units tab. There are Disruptors. That's why I got confused. Another High Templar right there. Pokebunny trying to micro to his heart's content, but I think with this many Phoenix, a few Disruptors apparently still on the map. And, of course, all those High Templar, it's going to be nearly impossible, especially with these Zealots warping in. That's actually going to seal the deal, I feel like. And there's no anti-air right here. Unless that Ghost has got an amazing gun on him, it's going to be tough. And, I mean, Ghosts do a lot of damage versus light. How much is it with +3? 26 damage here, but down he goes. There's no anti-air left. That is going to be it for Pokebunny. I got to say, some of the new units are absolutely ridiculous. There's going to be the GG from Pokebunny. But I got to say, thank you two, Pokebunny and QXC, for being good sports, kind of showing off and testing out the new units. I think it's very fun to watch. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And also, I will have the links to Pokebunny and QXC down in the description below. So go follow them on Twitter. Hope you guys enjoy it. And, of course, I'll see you guys next time.